Alright, today I'm working on a 2000 Honda CR-V all-wheel drive. The transmission is an M4TA. Alright, this is a two-shaft Honda transmission, and the complaint is harsh shifting and a hard forward engagement, but reverse is okay. I also looked at the paperwork and it had code P0730, which is gear ratio error. Okay, but let's talk about the complaint of the hard shifting and the hard forward engagement. All right, this section is of the valve body. It's called the secondary valve body. Okay, and in this valve body, and it's funny because I looked on Shopkey Pro and they didn't show it. This section of the valve body houses a clutch pressure control valve and spring, or CPC valve. And the spring likes to break. It's very, very common. All right, to the point where Sonics makes a replacement spring, because you cannot get a replacement spring from Honda. You would probably have to buy the whole valve body. All right, and that part number, by the way, is 88894. I don't have the spring yet. I actually am working on this. I just realized it was broken last night after hours. My supplier was closed, and I do get a night delivery, but it was too late, so I have to wait till this morning, late this morning, to get this. So I want to get a little closer and show you. There is a there's the clutch pressure control valve. There is the spring. Then there is a spring positioner and a lock nut. And I just want to talk about also the spring positioner, because that'll set the tension on the spring, and you actually have to count the turns when you take that out, just to make sure that you put it back in the same spot. It's usually about like seven turns is the common. When I backed this one out, it was 7 turns. All right, so let me get a little closer. We'll go over the sections of the valve body. I have the clutch pressure control valve spring here. The broken one I want to show you. I want to show you how the lineup goes. And again, I'll go over those 5 sections of the valve body that we'll just go over. So let me get a little closer, and I want to get this valve, I guess, laid out on a rag or something, because the spring is really, really tiny. This way I can show you guys. All right, so just give me a few minutes, and I will be right back. All right, so first I wanted to show you the setup here. Here is the clutch pressure control valve. Here is the spring that is broken. All right, this is very, very common. You know, for Sonics to make this, it's a very common problem. You see this a lot. This is the M4TA. You see this a lot with the M4RA, the B4RA, the A4RA family. You know, it's just pretty common. And again, you cannot get this from Honda. All right, this is the spring positioner. All right, this has an O-ring on it. You put the Allen key socket in here. It's either 5 or 6 millimeter Allen key socket. And again, you got to count the turns. So this goes back in the same position. And then here is the lock nut, so it does not back out. Okay, and this goes right in here. This is the valve train, and again, just like anything else, I like to make sure that the valve drops in under its own weight. And the funny thing is, I was looking on Shopkey, and it doesn't even show. It has the other shift valves here. These are all of the shift valves in here, but it doesn't show. It didn't show this valve. It showed the lock nut, but it did not show the valve setup, which I thought was very surprising. All right, so let me just back out again, and I just want to show you guys, just identify the different valve body sections, and just kind of doing like a quick tip video on this spring here, because it's extremely common. It's been a while since I did one of these 2-shaft Hondas, and mostly, I mean, I don't remember when the last time I did one. It's actually definitely has been a while, but when it has this spring, most of the time that spring is broken. And again, you know, you're talking about the hard shifting complaints. You got hard shifts, upshifts, and I believe downshifts as well. And if you do have those symptoms, more than likely, this spring is broken. All right, so let me just reposition, give me 1 second. All right, so on this Honda, we got 5 different sections of the valve body. Okay, this is the servo valve body. This have all the accumulators in them. Okay, the secondary valve body, which again houses the clutch pressure control valve and spring. Okay, up here on top you have the lockup valve body, the regulator valve body, and the main valve body. Those are the 5 sections of this Honda, which is again an M4TA. All right, so I just wanted to share that one very common problem. Here is a shot of the clutch pressure, or the linear, I should say, linear solenoid. And then there's the shift solenoids and the lockup solenoids. You know, they're the 2 on the bars, the regular ones here on off. So I just wanted to share that common problem with you guys on this 2-shaft Honda 4-speed all-wheel drive. So, you know, the clutch pressure control valve is you're going to find on the 2-shaft Hondas. And then they eventually, of course, went to the 3. All right, so again, symptoms, harsh shifting, harsh forward engagement, reverse is okay, and that is all due to a broken clutch pressure control valve spring. So I have one coming from Sonics, because again, you cannot get this from Honda, and then the spring positioner, again, very important, just don't unscrew it, you gotta count the turns. And then the lock nut goes on after that. All right, I just want to go over another issue with these early model Hondas, and it has to do with the differential. So one thing that you should do on all of these early model Hondas is check the roll pin, because most of the time you'll probably find it broken. So this one I had to take apart, number 1 because I like to check the pin anyway, and number 2 because the Spidey gears were no good. But when I took it down, this roll pin came out in 2 pieces. Okay, so I call Honda, see if I can get the side carriers separately. I cannot. Here's a shot of the spiders, by the way, the side gears. I called to see if I can get these side gears separately, because that's really all I needed. They do not sell it that way, only as an assembly, so you would have to buy the whole diff for like $500 or $600. So what I did was I got a good used diff housing with a good set of spiders in it. So that came yesterday, you know, with the cross pin and everything together. So the first thing I want to do was take that apart to switch the parts over. And of course, when I do that, and this roll pin also is broken. So it's a pretty, you know, common issue in the earlier units that you want to definitely check. You want to make sure this pin is okay. So what I do is I have an assortment of roll pins that I have here. I mean, I have these things for years. It's all different sizes and shapes, you know, tall, short, fat, skinny. So I found one that I'm going to use, and I usually always replace these pins when I get these earlier model Hondas in here. So what can happen if this pin breaks? This is an all-wheel drive, so the gear that meshes with the all-wheel drive unit actually would be covering right here, but what you would find if the roll pin breaks and actually comes out of place, the cross pin is going to slide out, it's going to stick out so far, it's going to spin, and it's going to break the case from the inside out. Alright, so you definitely want to check these roll pins at least to make sure that they are not broken. I'm not sure what year they started, but they changed the design. They have a much beefier pin that doesn't break. But still, on these early units, most of them you may find broken. So I just wanted to share that tip with you guys as well on these early model Hondas. All right, once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we will see you next one.